Good morning, traders. Welcome to Flow with the Markets. Tuesday, 10th of October today. Tuesday, we are 30 minutes into London Open, so let's have a look how the market played out on Monday, which was a bank holiday. But as I said in the weekly outlook and setups, a lot of times during bank holidays, the market actually ends up moving. That is due to like low liquidity and low volume, which does cause a lot of imbalances in the market. So if you actually have a look at the indices, they did move very nicely. So the Forex pairs are potentially going to be making the move today. So let's see how the market looks like and how we can adapt to what has happened yesterday and if there are any changes. All right, so you know this video is just straight to the point, no transitions, no pauses. We just go through the markets. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible so that we can actually immediately go to trade on the charts. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so before we get started in terms of news, we don't have anything today apart from a speech from the ECB's president, Ms. Lagarde. She's speaking at New York Open, so make sure to keep that in mind. You're going to have the Open paired with a speech. And of course, keep in mind that during the next days, we're going to start having some very important news. So maybe the market is going to be a little bit slower until then. Now, on the DXY, nothing changes. We are still trading between this daily low to daily high, which is also the same hourly low to hourly high, and we are tapping inside that daily zone, and we're also coming very close to that very last hourly kind of, if we just take the last candle right there before the big push, we're pretty much trying to tap it right there. But so far, very nice and very corrective market structure getting inside, and pretty much there is nothing that important happening right now on the Dixie. I mean, what is important is that we actually took out the, well, I mean, that is Friday's low. So we took out Friday's low right there during Asia. And right now we started kind of rejecting to the upside. But again, I mean, the big question is, yes, DXY is bullish right now. But like the big question is it going to follow through? Or are we going to have that reversal? Because if you know, like, for example, EU, GU, they all have turned bullish. But the DXY is still remaining, yeah, bullish as well. So this cannot really happen. So I do look forward for the DXY actually shifting to the downside. But honestly, there are no signs yet. Okay, so again, you can see here we had that massive NFP drop. The market pulled back, and yesterday it was pretty choppy during London, and then of course during New York the market opened and it started, you can see, like very nice push down, pullback, very nice push down again, and then we got choppy all over again. And right now technically, like we're just having a little structure break right there, so we can be looking for a bearish alignment because we're trading above Asia. We're filling in the imbalance to the left. We're tapping inside potentially 30-minute zone right there. So again, I do have this bearish outlook on the DXY, but I'm just gonna keep an open mind. So again, DXY, we don't trade this, we just look at it for confidence. And the only thing that I don't like is that it's still bullish on the FOIC and on the daily, but that can change anytime soon. Now dropping on to EU, so you can see my outlook right there on EU going on spot on so far, but we failed pretty much yesterday to make that hard high. So again, right now the big question comes in, right? So this is our liquidity area potentially to be targeting, and that is the daily structure that we're potentially looking to see as a daily reversal. And again, as I told you, DXY is still bullish on the FOIC and on the daily. Euro USD has been bullish on the FOIC for some time right now, and yesterday it pulled back beautifully into the demand zone. Very nice reaction, and right now it's the big question: what is gonna happen today? Yesterday, the 50-minute range was pretty bad because we kind of, pretty much it was exactly here. This is where we actually aligned bearish on the 50-minute, because if you have a look, like we have a push, pullback right there. Then we have a push, so all of this was internal. So this is where we shifted bearish. But then according to me, the TC occurred right there. So for a whole day, we were trading in this internal range. And then, yeah, the market decided to pop up at 8 o'clock right there. I don't know why, right? Decided to pop up. And we tried to take out this high, but we failed. So right now I see two scenarios. Okay, so two scenarios. Scenario one is we make a bullish trend change and we head for the high. Scenario two is we get bearish, we come down to take this low, and then from there we align bullish and still target the high. Right, and of course scenario three will be for us to break this hourly low and turn bearish. Although I don't see that as very likely, because again, looking at the sentiment and what is happening right now, I do think we should be having a bullish euro and a bearish USD. But again, who knows? I don't know. So again, what I'm just going to do is flow with the market. So EU just provided a short setup. But again, keeping my overall outlook that we're going to be going up and actually seeing that the market just took out the Asian low, right? So it's trading, it's taking liquidity to the downside. That is the most recent range we have, lower high, lower low. The market pulled back and it actually provided an entry right there, but I did not take it. Why? Well, because of liquidity and context, as I explained in my recent video. So right now we do have a break of structure lower. So what I'm essentially looking for right now is for the market to make a 50-minute trend change up to align bullish, pull back, and then potentially target, of course, Asian high, or even you can leave a target towards that 4-hourly high. So once again, this is scenario one. If we really get that bullish steam right now, but of course, if the market does not generate enough liquidity to push up, it's most likely going to need some liquidity. So we're going to pull back lower, take out this low, maybe even this low. And then if we align bullish from here, then that is going to be a high probability trade. Okay, so this is EU. Those are my two scenarios. Let me actually mark it up like that and then see what is going to happen. So that's EU so far, not the best. Now, the JPYs, again, you know what I think about the JPYs. I don't like them because they're in a very kind of shitty range right now. So there is EJ, massive push down, but it aligned bullish on the Forex. It pulled back. And why didn't I mark the valid hourly demand zone, which is right there? So it actually did come in to tap into the demand zone, and it actually did take a little bit of liquidity. That is most likely structural liquidity. And then dropping onto the 50-minute time frame, it was kind of similar to EU yesterday. Like it went down and chop. Then late New York, well, not late New York, it's actually, 2 hours into New York, we dumped lower, right, and formed this pretty much range right there, which is a pretty big on the 50-minute high to 50-minute low. And then we aligned bullish right there, but on the alignment, we made some fun stuff right there. Star Wars candles, whoop, up and down. But right now, we actually ended up following through to the upside. So there is our last structure break, and there is our last valid range. So keeping in mind that this one is longs on the 4H. Yeah, it's bearish on the daily, but 4-hourly time frame shifted bullish here. It pulled back. It tapped inside the 4-hourly demand zone. It took out this NFP structural liquidity right there. And right now, we're aligned bullish. So what I can say is that a trade like this, for example, right now, does make sense. I really like that these flat lows right there were taken by that wick, and then the market pushed up with a body break. So there is my EJ outlook. This is what I'm going to be looking for, potentially trying to flow with a 4-hourly time frame, right? And then, of course, the next logical target will be this one. But as I always keep saying, flow with the markets and don't throw like any forecasts and outcomes because you never know what's going to happen next. Now, Aussie dollar. Yeah, Aussie dollar is tricky. Again, we either expected a straight drop or a pullback into supply, and then potentially to see how it looks from here. Well, we did start with a little bit of a drop, but then the market immediately kind of reversed higher, and right now it tapped into the daily supply. Yeah, this is daily supply, so very important supply area. So again, like on the 4H, you can take something like this. Does this has a high chance of tapping? Well, most likely not, because I really don't like extreme zones like this, because that means the market pushed and it pulled back 100%, right? So here we pull back 50, maybe 61, but then if it comes all the way up, then the chance of it actually breaking gets a little bit higher. So dropping onto the 50-minute time frame, yesterday was, no, that's Friday, sorry. There is yesterday, we pushed down, break structure down, break of structure up, then chop, and then, yeah, New York decided to push the market up. So not sure if it was tradable. But right now, we came in, tapped inside the zone, and actually it was the Asian high that made the high inside this 4-hourly zone. And then we aligned bearish here. Then we made a break of structure here. Then we made another break of structure right there. Then we made another break of structure right there. So currently, this is pretty much the valid range. However, if you think about context and liquidity, well, there is no liquidity being grabbed right now in order to fuel a move down. So one of the biggest mistakes you can make, this is a very huge tip, right? Is that if you have like a couple of lower lows and then you're given the entry from a kind of after 5 waves to the downside, or after like the market has taken liquidity, something to the left, then usually this one doesn't work out. The market spikes up and then it gives you the reversal. Okay, so this is exactly the situation, which is why I'm not gonna trade from a zone like this, because the market made like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pushes down, or at least 7 waves. So in order for it to continue pushing down, I would love to see like a TC up, liquidity taken, maybe even the Asian high taken, and then to give me a high probability alignment bearish to actually go short with that 4-hourly trend. Okay. But of course, let's see, as I always say, follow the valid ranges, follow the structure until you're wrong. So we can, of course, try to take a short from here. And if it works, amazing. If it doesn't, then of course, either look to take a long or wait for the market to align bearish again. So then you can trade with the higher time frames. So that is also USD right now. Bearish bias overall. But again, the question is, are we going to take some liquidity before we launch lower? Well, I really do hope we get this outcome at least. Take out the Asian high and then give us a short. But of course, if the market spikes a little bit higher even without taking the Asia high, but then aligns bearish, then you can still go for it, okay? And of course, another outcome will be for us to get much deeper inside the zone and then of course gather more liquidity inside the zone. So stay patient and wait for the setup. Let's have a look at AJ. So yeah, AJ, we either expected like a drop or like a push up. I really don't like the pair. It's very, very, very huge hourly range. Like it tends to do this, making huge hourly ranges and then staying within it for 2 months. So right now this one is another yet massive range. So again, if you try to trade here from the middle of nowhere, it's not gonna turn out good. And like if I zoom in on the 50-minute, yesterday pure chop, 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 move down, move up, chop again. And right now, I mean, you're gonna zoom in and you just see this, which is absolute. Took out the Asian low. Then it actually did a little bit of a TC right there, but very shitty, like a wick, bearish engulf. I don't like it, right? It's technically, very technically like taking wick breaks. It's bullish, so you can try to take a long from here, but I don't know. I mean, this low can definitely be, this high can definitely be liquidity because it's a high that failed to cause anything to the downside. So longs are actually more probable, but that again does not align with the bearishness of AU right now, which can also pop up to the upside. So again, guys, if you're having doubts, then just don't trade the pair. But I'm gonna say I'm more long biased than short biased on AJ exactly at this moment. I just don't trust this zone right there. But if I was trading this pair, I would look for something like this. Okay, and if the market TC's down, then of course I'm really gonna consider if I'm gonna trade it, because it's exactly in the middle of nowhere. It's like around the 50% of the 4H. So definitely like shorts are the highest probability bias. But again, we're not trading from anywhere. There is no zone. There is no like major liquidity taken. So again, what makes us think that the market is going to flush from here? Well, at least let's take this high maybe to classify this as liquidity. And then if we start getting clear bearish market trending to the downside, then we can look for the short. NZD USD. So what did we have on this one? We have two outcomes, either push into supply and then a reversal, or push into demand and a very big push to the daily high. So yeah, this one definitely play out right there. In fact, to the pip. So very nice pullback into demand zone. But again, on Monday, it was bank holiday, so I didn't really look to trade. So right now we're tapping inside this supply zone. And if I refine it, we just tap to the very last of it. And right now we are having a brand new demand zone, so those are no longer relevant. Oops, I deleted my zone. So there's the demand zone right now. There is our brand new hourly range. We do have some imbalance to fill right there, which the market is currently traveling towards. So it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. The market made a high during Asia once again, and it aligned bearish here. So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. There is the last structure break right there, and this is currently our last supply. So it doesn't look very good for a short right now, honestly, right? It's already pulling back. It's very close to the 50%. And if we tap the 50% and we take these lows right there, I would be really getting ready to take a long trade on this pair. Because it's very bullish. I really like how it followed through from that hourly demand zone yesterday. In fact, like it came in, took out the Asian low, took out this low, aligned bullish on the 15-minute. So if you just simply waited for that retest and took a trade from here, you would have done pretty good, right? So right now the market is pulling back potentially. Once again, it's very extended to the downside, making quite a couple of lower lows. So I would expect a pop-up right now. But again, we're probably going to need some news or just something's going to shake the market. So let's see. But again, I would just focus on longs on this pair for now if it doesn't show me otherwise. So either a TC up right now and a continuation higher, or at least let it first take the liquidity, dip below 50%, take liquidity, fuel imbalance, and then look for an alignment bullish from here. So long bias is what I say on the NZD, although I hate giving biases. On this one, I am kind of have a little bit of conviction. NZD JPY going on to the 40 time frame. Well, yeah, we are tapping inside that 40 zone, which is right there. We tapped in, reacted, came in, and took out that highest liquidity. So right now the key is to actually see, is it gonna go bearish or is it gonna continue going bullish with the strength of NZD/USD? Yesterday, same kind of setup, took out the low, aligned bullish, then chop, then push, pullback, then again continued following through. And right now it's doing this. So do you want to trade this? Absolutely not, because look at it. So I don't know. We aligned bearish here. Then we broke structure right there with these wicks. And currently pretty much that is a supply. So we're bearish. So do you want to really trade from this one? I don't know. So in this case, I would much prefer NZD/USD because this one is bearish right now. It's a JPY pair and it's bearish, while NZD/USD is very clearly bullish. So I guess this one can actually pop to the upside, or this one can just chop around, because if USD/JPY is bearish, which we're gonna see if it is right now, and then NZD/USD is bullish, then this one is gonna chop around. So once again, be careful with the JPYs. But this is the current situation. It's actually pretty short biased because we're tapped inside a forward supply. We took out that previous, it's not the previous day's high, but it's Friday's high right there. Rejected, created a bearish trend change. So right now, I really don't see what's going to happen on this one. Either follow through to the downside, or maybe make a TC up, take out the Asian high, and then see if it aligns. Or maybe if the NZD gets stronger, we might actually make a reversal. So in this case, I just wouldn't look to trade this. USD/JPY. Oh yeah, USD/JPY, I'm not looking at it. I almost forgot that we're having a very big ugly range right there. So that is your 1 minute high to 1 minute low. So guys, just wait for this one to exit this range. So no trading on USD/JPY. Well, personally for me, because you can drop on the 50 minute and look for something internal, but don't forget that this is your high on the 15 minute, on the 1 minute, and on the 4H, and on the daily, I'm not sure. Yeah, on the daily as well. So that thing doesn't happen very often. So again, be careful. You can trade internal structure, but just be mindful that you're overall trading between this high and this low on every single time frame. So this should be enough of a fact to maybe stop you from trading it. USD CAD doing some woohoo, doing some big swings up, and then right now big swing down. But again, I just decided not to look at this pair. USD Swiss franc as well. I added it to my list, but at that time it was absolutely choppy. Right now it does start getting a little bit of steam. So maybe I can try it back up again. GBP/USD, looking pretty good so far. Very nice pullback. Right now, of course, expecting that daily high to be taken. But similar to EU, it pushed up, it failed, and right now it's probably preparing for another move up. The big question is how it's going to play out. Is it going to push us down similar to EU, like I said, to take liquidity from here, or maybe even to tap inside the forward demand zone and then rush? Or is it going to align bullish from exactly right there and give us a long trade? Well, I'd love to. So, oops. So there are my two scenarios. I was looking for longs yesterday from here, but I didn't really take them. Bank holiday once again. And honestly, if I did take them, I probably would take a stop loss, right? And then the market would have ran up. So I'm happy that I didn't actually take a long trade from there. But there is GU right now, taking the Asian low, pulling back, being extremely, not extremely, but being pretty much bullish on the 4H. I really like how this one held from here. So right now, once again, I just see those two outcomes. Either a pop-up right now to immediately go and take out that high, or maybe if not enough liquidity is collected right now in order for the market to push up, it's going to dip a little bit, take out this low, maybe take out these lows right there. And then we're going to see what is going to happen inside this forward demand zone. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to minimize my demand zone because this one is already taken. So this one will not really act as demand. The real demand will be what is left below these lows right there. So that's GU, looking for that bullish alignment. You can see just right now actually rejected from the latest 15-minute supply, and I can take a short from here, but it just does not align with my narrative, so I don't take anything. GJ, okay, GJ, very nice pullback, and we can immediately start looking for the longs. I did expect maybe for it to pop up to the upside first, but it did not, which is actually better. So right now we're pulling back below the 50% and we're starting to align bullish, so definitely looks very nicely long bias. And similar to EJ, like yesterday, it went down, nicely tapped inside the zone, and it gave us that 50-minute alignment here. Push, boom, 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 boom. Actually, it never broke the demand zone that caused that last break, but it did through quite a bit of manipulations right there. Oh, yeah, we took out the high. Then, yeah, but it was a little bit shitty right there. But we do have right now a clean break. and I'm gonna take this one as my demand zone. So again, well, you can definitely start trend following this right now, or trend follow the new ranges that are gonna form. Those are the two situations that I see. I would say this one has high conviction for going longs. There's gonna be the first target, yesterday's Asian range high, and then of course your next target will be potentially the 4-hourly and daily high if the market actually holds for longs. So let's see, but GJ definitely looks clean. Euro GBP worst pair of all. Goat, okay, so goat just opened and popped. I was expecting longs, but I didn't expect really to pop this way. So that definitely gives me even more confidence that the DXY should be reversing anytime soon. But again, keep in mind that this one is still bearish on the daily. So daily and weekly high to daily and weekly low, so we're bearish. And yeah, 4-hourly did turn bullish, which is pretty good. But again, we're tapping inside something to the left right now, so be careful and vigilant. 4-hourly low to 4-hourly high, imbalance is being filled right now, which is pretty good. Imbalance actually got filled, which is definitely very good. And right now, dropping onto the 50-minute time frame, we are bearish. We're bearish trading from this lower high to the current lower low that we have. What I would prefer to happen on this one is for us to actually tap the 50% and tap inside the demand zone and then get a bullish TC from here for longs. That is my preference. If from here we come inside this zone, I wouldn't really take a short. Why? Well, because we took out Asian low, we filled an imbalance, we came close to the 50%, we're potentially making a higher low. So why would you go against that narrative? So this is pretty much the only outcome I would like to see on gold if I'm gonna trade it. Okay, of course, another one will be just from here to make a trend change and then give us some sort of a long trade. But I'm going to say long bias right now for gold. It just makes sense to go long on gold, keeping in mind the very nice momentum that we're having and the very nice pop we had. Oh, that is that should be a gap, and that's Owanda. Let me double check this. This one doesn't show a gap. Pepperstone. Yep, there it is. So we do have a gap right there. So that is not good because gaps have to be filled. So there is a lot of empty space right there. So again, is it going to happen right now? We don't know. Okay, but again, just keep in mind you're going to be trading from a demand zone that has a gap below it. And usually like gaps are even more powerful than imbalance because imbalance you still have price, right? But gaps are definitely something that cannot stay for a very long time. So I've seen the market leave gaps for months, okay, but usually it comes to fill them. So again, either long from here or wait for the gap to get filled, then wait for a new alignment and then go long. So again, just be careful of the gap. All right, so let's have a look at the indices, which also really popped up very nicely, and I'm pretty sad. I was looking at them yesterday and there weren't really any entries, unfortunately, like according to me. But again, the expectation was either for us to pop up to the upside and to the demand zone and to the supply zone and then start looking to see what's going to happen, or for us to pull back into 4H demand and then make a hard high, which is exactly what happened. But unfortunately, again, bank holiday, who would have thought that the market is going to pop up so nicely? So right now, we're tapping inside the very big daily zone. And within that daily zone, there are two 4-hourly supply zones that you can refine. Okay. So coming inside the current price action, we just took out the previous daily high and we just took out the Asian high as well. So I was actually looking to long it this morning, but it didn't really pull back from here. And right now it came in and took out the daily high and the Asian high. So I also don't like this, but still I'm going to be looking to see how it's gonna play out from that zone. You can see I have my alert there, but that alert was set immediately after the break, and I wanted to take it towards the Asian high, but it did not pull back. So after taking the Asian high and the daily high, we can start expecting maybe even a slightly deeper pullback right now. So I don't like this, but that could definitely happen because you can see the brand new. Oh, come on. How do I stop this? All right, there it is. As you can see, the brand new demand zone is actually all the way down there. And if we also draw the 50%, it's like that. There is a lot of imbalance to be filled. So also in the meantime, we can try to also take some shorts. into that, and then maybe go for the longs. If I actually refine this run, we're right now tapping into a supply zone that hasn't been tested out. And after taking the previous daily high and the Asian high, so it does look pretty bearish. And you can see already the reaction, right? 5 minute is maybe giving us already the trend change. Well, yeah, it's about to come right now. There it is. So watch out for longs. We're a little bit high already for longs. Longs were yesterday. Yesterday it made a low. It made a bullish break here. So there was an entry right there. But again, no clear entry setup. So you should have taken it aggressive. Another push, another pullback, another entry. Another push, another pullback, another entry right there. So I'm slightly kind of confused why I actually didn't follow through to really look. But I really wasn't looking to trade yesterday on a bank holiday. So I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay. So that's US30 right now. Pretty high. I would expect maybe for us to make a trend change bearish and maybe to get a little bit of a pullback. But who knows? Let's see. Nasdaq, same story. We were expecting a pullback, but the market gapped down and then immediately went on and made a fall break of structure higher. So there is our new demand zone. It's at a higher high right now. So again, it makes sense for us to start pulling back. There is the imbalance, and checking the 50-minute time frame. Well, unlike US30, this one did not take the previous daily high and the Asian high. But yeah, this one is pretty tough right there. Yeah, I was looking for the morning analysis this morning, and Nasdaq had the most confusing 30-minute and 50-minute range right there. So you can take it something like this if you want to be extra conservative. But again, according to our rules that we have within the community, it is pretty much just gonna be this low right there. So we technically have a trend change down, and right now we have a trend change up, and then technically you can be looking to take a long from here. But as I saw US30 right now, and as we're gonna see SPX, which also formed equals with the Asian high. Come on, why is US30 already doing the good stuff? So on SPX, we actually did cause a daily break on this one, which is very, very, very important. So we have a hourly break and we have a daily break as well. So let me remove all of this. That doesn't matter. Daily break, hourly break. So very good. We do have a very big hourly demand zone right there. We can, of course, refine it like this. We are at a high. And as I said, there is like the most recent liquidity area that we could target. Now, when you go to the 50-minute time frame, it aligned bullish. So it first aligned bearish right there. Then right now in London, it aligned bullish. And right now it's coming back to test out the demand zone that formed. But again, this is not really a trade that I would look to take. Right now, I mean, keeping in mind where we are, this one really sucks that it formed equals. Nasdaq didn't even go there, while US30 took it out very nicely, and right now it's pulling back into demand zone. So they could offer a long. All of them look good, but personally, I do prefer to trade indices in New York. So I'm gonna be turning it into New York to potentially see what is happening there. Because yeah, right now I just don't like the positioning, and this long potentially for me is not high probability because it's not taken from a higher low formation. So yesterday they should have been a trade. So I really hope some of you managed to catch some longs on indices yesterday, maybe even gold. Let me know, guys, in the comments. But this is pretty much where I am going to end it. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Chopped around, made a little move up. Okay, it's still kind of chopping around. Ethereum, yeah, still a long way to travel towards 800. So yeah, hopefully, guys, this has updated you a little bit. So not a lot has changed. Like the biggest question right now is what is happening with EU and GU. As you can see, I skipped this short on EU, and there it is, aligning bullish on the 50-minute time frame. So right now I would look to entertain a potential long idea. Okay, that means that potentially GU might also be shifting bullish. Okay, this one does need a little bit more of a pop-up. Okay, so London session so far pretty slow. 1 hour into it, no clear moves. So that immediately tells me, all right, well, probably it's going to be slow. Then, of course, the indices, I'm going to give them some time. I'm going to observe them for a little bit. But right now I'm going to go on the roll for around 3 hours. And I'm probably going to be tuning in during New York. So traders, hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you got updated on everything that is happening. NZUSD, by the way, could be definitely another good setup. So I wish you an incredible week ahead. Let me know how you do. Let me know what are your favorite setups going forward. And talk to you on my next educational video that is going to get published this week.